Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm Sheila Slick, your host, and today my special guest is Robyn McTague. Robyn is the creator of A Life of Choice Coaching and Positive Team Engagement. She is a consultant, a speaker, and author. She uses diverse and holistic techniques to get to the heart of what's required to integrate who you are, to live your life authentically, be engaged, and handle whatever comes your way. She builds successful relationships, or she helps others build successful relationships in all areas of their lives, and that results in harmony and moving towards what matters to you most. Welcome to the show, Robyn.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Looking back on your journey, how did you get to starting A Life of Choice Coaching, which is where you are at now?
For me, it was a really challenging upbringing. My mom was suicidal. First time I remember her attempting suicide, I was 4, and my dad was an alcoholic and abuser. And there was that part of me that was very aware. And I remember having existential conversations with myself at like 11, 12 years old, saying, why are some people aware and other people aren't? So my intellect saved me through all of that. And so I wanted to learn and grow. I was the first one to finish high school in my family and go on to university and more training. And so that really helped me because really what I was looking for was understanding people and why they do what they do. So that's left me with that lifelong love of learning. And the big pivot for me was having cancer 25 years ago and really doing the deep work to get to the feelings of how I felt about things and really put some of the past behind me so I could have more confidence and move forward in life. I worked for an organization for 34 years, and I could leave early because of my years of service and learned the MAP and all these other tools. And I really saw how accurate it got to how we do feel and what's important to us. So I really saw the benefit of helping people understand that so they could understand themselves and others, and especially the conflict resolution. And I find whatever conversation I have with people, it always goes back to that.
Well, I love how you're able to talk about conflict with a smile. I've had one other guest, and her focus is conflict resolution, and she embraces it. It was almost like, wow, you're inviting everyone to, have conflict, but it's how to deal with it. So you are deeply versed in tools like Enneagram and motivational maps and conflict resolution. Can you tell us a little bit about these, frameworks or tools and why they're essential for creating lasting transformation?
What I find, there's a lot of tools out there and they all have their benefit, but these tools that I'm working with really allows a shift and growth and going deep within ourselves and understanding other people. So they're dynamic. We're constantly changing as humans, so we need tools and ways of dealing with things that are also dynamic. Motivation changes over time, and we forget that. And it's really hard to pinpoint. So what I do is help make the invisible visible. There's no cookie cutter approach. These are just tools to say what is important to me. Most often we don't. And if we're starting out in our business or we're going along and we're listening to the latest people, we're trying to fit ourselves into someone else's model that worked for them. And it doesn't always work for us. So these help us to see what's important to me. How intense are these motivators to me? If I'm so focused on the future, what am I doing now? What's the places where I'm letting go of relationship building and achievement? So we need to balance those out, and this helps us to see, am I giving something up? Am I ignoring people or feeling uncomfortable around certain people because they have different motivators? So often we talk about personality conflicts. Most often it's motivational conflict. So when we can bring in that neutral language and say, this is simply what's important to that person, and this is important to me, then we can have better understanding and go deeper and accept that we all bring different things to the table. So that's the start of what I do. The Enneagram goes deeper into our worldview. How do I see the world? What are my blind spots? And how can I open that up to all 9 ways of looking at the world? Because for me as a 6, I'm great at project management. I love to see where are the holes. Other people, it's like, oh, how did you notice that? Even out in public. I was recently out and I said, did you drop this earring? Did you do this? Can you see this? Like, it's just my way of looking at things. Other people just go by and they don't even think about it. Or other people are more relationship and I need to keep that relationship. So there's ways that we have that once we have that awareness and know what's important, then we can relax and say, this is me. And when I'm in alignment with that, I have more energy, I get things done. And when I don't, I procrastinate, I feel that push pull, or maybe I'm in the wrong role because I don't feel energized by it. And what an amazing tool for an employer or small business owner to see, how do I fit my people into these different roles and how do they interact together? So that's why I really love them. It really gives us deeper understanding of ourselves and others. And the number one mantra for everyone to remember from today, from conflict resolution, all behavior makes sense, at least to that person. So be curious. What's going on for them? Instead of being reactive, and that's normal, with awareness, we can step back, take that breath, and be curious. And it shifts everything.
It's wonderful advice. Just step back and take a deep breath. So now I understand how these exams and enneagrams, the motivational maps, they really do help with that self awareness. So if I'm understanding correctly, by practicing that, then you're able to live an authentic life and be more engaged.
Yes, and understanding each other, especially, people work really great individually, but how do they work as a team? Are they engaged? So, in hiring, even, maybe, I mean, this is not the only piece, it's kind of the ending piece. I've gone through all my candidates. I see who really is a good fit for this role, their education, their experience, but are they energized by that? Are they going to stay in the job? Say I'm hiring for public relations or reception, something that's forward with the public. If I don't have relationship motivators, I'm not going to stay. I'm going to get irritated. I'm going to say, this just isn't for me. If I don't have builder that wants that above average lifestyle and they're in a commission sales role, they're probably not going to stay. So we need to look at the context of what people are doing and see, okay, this is what's important. And as a team, having people in those roles where they're not competitive, but they're actually working together and saying, you bring this, and look at all of these wonderful things we're bringing to the table. We're more alike than different.
So now my curiosity, I have 2 questions for you. And I've been focusing a lot on self-leadership, right? Leading for yourself from within first before talking about leading others. And you've been talking a lot about how it works for teams. So my curiosity is asking, do the founders or owners or CEOs of the companies that you help also partake in these activities and sessions so that they too can, be aligned with.
Absolutely. One of the things that we see is potential tensions or conflicts within our personal maps and within each other as well. Say I'm a business owner and I have a really high director, and I also have the searcher. I want to make a difference. I want to make impact. And I am so much focused on being in control, of being in charge, being responsible, but I'm not letting others help. If I have that strong director, how can I let go and delegate and have others help me? Because that vision isn't complete without bringing other people in. So having that and saying, oh, yeah, that's really strong. Or say you're collaborating, and I worked with someone, we were going to collaborate in a joint venture. And every time we spoke, it was like, oh, I feel like they're trying to sell to me. This doesn't feel comfortable. Sure enough, their builder was super, super high. Like that was the main focus. And then for me, it was more searcher at that time. So I decided we're not a good fit. So it helped me to learn what's important to me. Maybe my searcher needs to come down a bit. And as a business owner, I need to bring up some of the builder or something else. So it brings in that self awareness to see, where am I not stepping up? What do I need to open up within myself? And how can I parcel out those tensions to say, okay, I can take care of both of those, but in different ways. So I'm not procrastinating, for example.
Is there one result that is more dominant than others? Like if you were to say in general terms, right? You have trends, or is there one specific problem, or is there a specific category that just comes up over and over again, no matter, who the individual is?
Often it is the conflict resolution. I find it goes back to that. What I find is most people do not know what energizes them and what keeps them motivated towards what's important, because we haven't had good research. It's only in the last while that we've really understood what motivation is. So there's motivation kind of gets that bad rap. And we hear that inspiration versus motivation. And I have this discussion with people all the time. Inspiration lasts for a short time. It's like, we go to a speaker and it's like, wow, yeah, I'm going to make all these changes. But it's the motivation that keeps us going in alignment. And there's over 1 million combinations. So no two people are alike of the intensity and what's important to them. And it changes because we change over time. And so having that piece helps us with the conflict resolution to begin with, both within and with others, because we see what's important to us and how we dismiss people because of something that isn't comfortable. If one of our motivators is really low, we don't see the benefit, and we can feel irritated by people that have that. An example I like to use is star. So we have this person that's really out there. They like to be seen and acknowledged for what they do. And we have a really low one, and it's like, oh, what's with that person? We don't need that huge, huge star. But as an entrepreneur or a small business owner, if you don't have some to say, this is me, this is my business, and I'm good at what I do, how are we going to have a business? No one's going to know who we are. We're the best kept secret. So it's understanding how we can use these to our benefit. And then what comes up is with the conflict resolution, we know ourselves so much deeper that we can have the discussion and see, yes, this is important to them. Or we see people who do something different, and then we don't create that conflict. We can have the discussion and bring in the neutral language, ask questions instead of making assumptions. So often we make assumptions, and it creates a lot of problems.
So you're also an author and a speaker. What is your next milestone?
Well, I was just on a Caribbean cruise and I'm now an international speaker. So that was a big milestone for me. And I really would like to do more in-person speaking and workshops and training to really help people because especially with our economy, people are liking the group things. So I'm concentrating on bringing some of that in so it lessens the cost, but it also makes it so people are connecting because people are feeling so disconnected. We talked about how there was the great where people left jobs and all that after COVID. Now we're talking about the great resignation. And now we have the great disengagement where people are feeling disengaged. They want change. They're kind of in that same boat again. And they don't feel they can. So they feel stuck. They feel disconnected and disengaged. And really, that's my big purpose right now is to get people feeling engaged again with their lives, with their work, and realizing that often we make the change, but it's the same energy dynamic. The faces change, but the same things happen. So until we know what's important to us, that's going to keep going, going to keep happening, and people are still going to be unhappy and disconnected.
So where can we find your book or get more information about you?
I have two websites. It's positiveteamengagement.com is for the teams, and alifeofchoice.ca is more focused on individuals and couples. And that's where the books are listed and some of the other events. I've got some free events coming up.
Sounds great. I'll also leave that in the summary, in the notes of the episode so that you can click and connect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Robyn.
Thank you.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until next time.